Hi, my name is Jared Wilson. Welcome to my EDL 856 Module 10 case study assignment. Jumping into the case, first we're going to summarize and establish facts. So first, to identify the local parents group, this is a split from the PTA. They consist of elected officers. They are splitting away from some of the grouping for PTA and wanting to have a more hands-on, involved approach to helping the school. Next, to identify the principal, traditional mindset. I am surprised with some of the communication, some of the things that take place in the meeting that is established in this case study. I am concerned about parent involvement. And previously, I've worked well with the PTA, have had a good relationship with the PTA, and our relationship has really done well previous to this meeting. The PTA normally is set up for parent-staff picnics, parent conferences, back to school nights. They help with different occasions and things set forth. The big issue or the big dilemma around this case really revolves around two meetings. The first one is a meeting for back to school night where I, as a principal, I am introducing kind of the needs from the school to the PTA, how we've done it in the past, how back to school night can look, how it has looked in the past, what we are looking for, kind of the school's needs. And that results in communication back from the new local parents group in which they are discussing their needs and their wants as important stakeholders in the community and in the school. And that kind of opens up the fact that they had previous meetings to our initial meeting where they had discussed what type of what type of committees they were involved in, what type of impact they wanted to involve in, and definitely left myself as a principal out of the loop in what their agenda and what they were trying to accomplish. It is important to identify that this group of parent leaders are important stakeholders in the school, and they are wanting to implement new change that will have a large impact on both staff and students. And I was extremely shocked, surprised by the president wanting these new roles without any type of two-way communication, any type of open communication. And it's important for me as a principal to collaborate with all groups, but doing so without interference of the student education process. So to highlight more, like I said before, the local parents group's main focus is wanting to change. They are identified as important stakeholders. Their biggest thing is that they would like a 50-50 part of decision and policy making. They highlighted that the committees they wish to sit on or to implement into the school focuses on discipline, teacher performance, curriculum, and school evaluations. When this is brought up to me in the meeting, it's presented as something that they have previously already voted on and is set as an agenda prior to any type of communication or collaboration with myself. Is kind of just dropped in my lap as a surprise saying, here is what we are going to do. And it makes myself as a principal step back and think that I am the one with the most responsibility. I am the one that ultimately is on the line. And at the same time, how much I do want to collaborate with both the community, the important stakeholders, everyone that wants the best for these students and wants the best well-being for the students and staff. And I have to make that a priority always. So looking at facts, when did this take place? It took place at a back to school night, and then the previous committee meetings. This is where they decided who was going to be involved in the discipline, the teacher evaluations, and so forth. Where did these take place? It took place at a public school, a meeting place at the school. This could have been an office, a classroom, conference room, any of the above. So who are these stakeholders involved? You have the principal, myself. You have the president of the new local parents group. You have the original PTA. You have the entire new parent organization. You have the students, the staff, and the community, as well as important stakeholders. Identifying ethical and legal issues. So ethically, there's been distrust between the principal and the new organization. The new organization had started this agenda and this direction without any type of communication with the principal. Even though I am somewhat as the first line in how things are done, why they're done, the appropriate chain of command would have been to come talk to me, where I could have facilitated that type of discussion with them so that we could have agreed on how they can help become a more integral part of the school without stepping on toes, without stepping on legal issues as well. There was a show of lack of two-way communication. I set the agenda for the meeting to meet with this group of individuals, and they've kind of gone above and done some different things that kind of undermined what we were trying to accomplish, and it could have been avoided with the two-way communication and just the lack of collaboration. So it shows where the PTA and the new group had disbanded because of the new push for the new group to be more involved and more integrated in the school, and that kind of drove a split between the PTA and the new group. So it also shows a little bit of lack of collaboration from that new group. Legal issues so far, it does highlight repercussions for principal. So highlighting the fact that I am on the line if something were to happen. It's highlighting the fact that me putting my trust or my name on the line for individuals that are not hired staff creates issues. It also creates legal issues when they discussed wanting to be a part of the teacher evaluation process. In the state of Colorado, we have the state model evaluation system for teachers. It is a set model in the state of Colorado. It is not something that an outside agency can come in and dictate. It also talks a little bit about FERPA in regards to the disciplinary action that they wish to achieve as that new group, and how we as an organization cannot share any type of information about that and about the disciplinary process, and how it'd be very difficult for them to be involved without crossing any FERPA lines or any misuses of information. Injuries or harm. So far, the stakeholders are not staff. To also focus on the lack of trust towards the new group. So because there was no communication, because there was no collaboration, but there was just kind of a drop of information, it created this lack of trust between the school and this new group. And it highlights further the importance of communication and how there was no way communication between both parties. To synthesize everything that has occurred in one sentence, there's been a new parent organization that has split from PTA and is wishing to have a more input on school decision and policy making, but have done so in a manner that has caused distrust and has shown a lack of communication and collaboration. So again, synthesizing these facts, we have the principal, the PTA, you have the new parent group, the new parent group's president, you have your students, your staff, and your parents. Place at school, the meeting locations, and the back to school nights. With the program, there's not a ton of information on this. You can allude to the fact that it's public education is taking place at the school, that the PTA has been an established school organization, and that the new organization is not quite yet affiliated with the school, but that is what they are seeking and that's what they are going, and that this program is trying to be more inclusive so that it can, all parties are seeking that collaboration and it can take part in that. So looking at information, it impacts all stakeholders. So it impacts administration, staff, students, as well as the community. Still need to consult all stakeholders. So the school board to this point has not been involved. The superintendent has not been involved. No legal team or legal action discussions have been involved, and the staff have not been involved. So far in this situation, there have been meetings where another organization has asked for demands, if you will, or have said this is what we would like to implement, and it has only come to my decision making and my shoulders at this point as to whether or not I am going to collaborate with this group. It would directly affect administration and staff as far as evaluations go, school evaluations go. There's mentions of the back to school night pertaining to an entire week-long process where teachers are at the school, they're available for meetings, they are setting up slideshows and presentations for parents to come in. So it directly affects them there, but as well as their evaluations. As far as students go, any implement of curriculum or discipline would directly affect them as well. So can I learn more about the situation? Yes. The legal precedents. So knowing the legal side of the evaluations and FERPA is going to be huge in this situation. What can they say? What can they have input on? And what crosses that legal boundary? The next thing is to communicate with the school board to get approval. Is this something that the school board is on board with, or is this something the school board is going to deny? Ultimately, I don't have total control. It is a checks and balance between myself and the school board and the other administration team, and we work together as a team, not myself only acting upon the best interest of everyone. And also, what type of middle ground is there? The situation kind of leaves it up for interpretation of whether or not they are willing to communicate with me, willing to collaborate with me, or if this group of new parents are saying this is exactly how we're going to do things. Do I have enough to make a decision? Yes, I do believe there is enough information. All the necessary information has been collected. There are three different options. You have the first option of no action, which results in no collaboration with a new group, establishing PTA's original responsibilities and revoking any affiliation with that new parent group, and notifying the stakeholders of the situation, how you handled it. The next step would be the highest amount of impact, that is to adopt all new policy via the parent group, share that 50-50 partnership with that group, support the American Education Week, where teachers are collaborating with them. They're celebrating in all the different slideshow and partnerships and such. And then collaborate with the group designated committees. This is where I allow them to look at the discipline, the teacher reviews, and so forth. Alternative options are meet with the group president, discuss legal presence, develop collaboration plans, committee 50-50 parents and staff. So developing some of these committees that are both part of their group as well as our group and kind of making one committee, determining shared goals, and then providing opportunities for input on behavior curriculums and partnership between school or group, school, and school board. Option number one is to take no action. Introducing policies set by a new parent group could endanger the well-being and education for all students. Pros are that there's less staff pushback, school board support, PTA continued responsibilities, less opportunities for challenges, less legal consequences, the same processes take place, and there's no need to overcome distrust between myself and the new group. Cons, that there's a lack of collaboration, there's community fallout, the support of identified needs. So this community or this group did identify needs of the community, so not working with them shows the lack of support. There's no positive change being made, loss of volunteer support, and new group pushback, as well as possible student enrollment could change depending on the power of the group of parents. Option number two has the highest impact, and that would be to adopt all policies introduced by the new group and implement all the committees introduced and become a 50-50 partner, allowing total collaboration. Pros would be that you have differentiated resources, you have collaborations with the new parent group, meeting the identified needs of the community. There's data collection, positive direction, community support, supporting of student programs, and two-way communication. Cons are possible legal obligations, staff pushback, increased staff responsibilities, potential PTA fallout, non-staff decision-making, instant change, and a lack of two-way communication with all stakeholders. Option number three are the middle ground options. Agree with the group president that collaboration with all stakeholders is critical, and explore alternative routes and navigate away from potential legal consequences and potentially risking student education, and create a collaboration plan to integrate collaboration among all stakeholders. Pros for this is that there's collaboration among all stakeholders. Power and responsibilities still mainly rely on the principal. So I am not giving out my power. I am sharing that power. We are having shared goals and we are communicating together. There's a higher chance of two-way communication, and then diversity among decision-making and resources, as well as an improvement in community engagement. Cons to this are that changes, so staff pushback and group pushback, neither one could like the the avenues set before them. It relies heavily on collaboration from the group. So thus far, the group has not shown any efforts to collaborate. So relying on that heavily is one drawback. Myself and the group will have to overcome that distrust within the group of not collaborating, not communicating with one another, and that there's possible stakeholder collaboration at fault.